Have you ever gone to bed feeling just fine? No pain, no signs of trouble, and still woken up in the middle of the night with your heart racing? Or worse, heard about someone who went to sleep and never woke up? I recently heard about a man, 71 years old, still active, still sharp, the kind of person who never missed his morning walk. He wasn't sick, he wasn't in the hospital. He simply went to bed one night and didn't make it to morning. His family was shocked. And honestly, stories like that hit differently when you're past a certain age. Because here's the truth no one tells you. After 70, the body becomes more sensitive, even to the little things. Things that once seemed harmless, like what time you eat dinner, how warm your bedroom is, or what you drink before bed, can quietly start to put stress on your heart, your blood pressure, your brain. And sometimes that stress builds silently until it doesn't. I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying this because awareness saves lives. In today's video, we're going to talk about 5 evening habits that older adults often overlook. Habits that might seem harmless, even comforting, but could actually increase your risk of stroke, heart attack, or sudden health decline overnight. Now don't worry, I'm not here to lecture or take away your nightly cup of tea. I'm here to guide you through the small, practical changes that can make a huge difference. Because once you understand why these habits matter, it's easier to take control, not just of your bedtime routine, but of your long-term health and peace of mind. And if you're thinking, well, I've been doing things this way for decades and I'm fine, trust me, I get it. But your body at 70 doesn't react the same way it did at 50, or 40, or 30. And that's not a weakness. That's just nature asking us to adjust. So, grab a cup of water, not coffee. Get comfortable and stay with me. Because the next few minutes might just help you sleep better tonight and live longer tomorrow. Let's begin. Let me tell you a story. A friend of mine, Don, he's 74, called me up a few weeks ago and said, I don't get it. I've been waking up coughing, almost choking, around 2 a.m. every night. I thought I was coming down with something. But here's the thing. Don wasn't sick. He was just having spaghetti and meatballs at 9:30 p.m. You see, after 70, our bodies don't handle late-night meals the way they used to. The muscles that once worked like clockwork to break down food, they've aged. Which means when you eat something heavy right before bed, your body isn't ready to deal with it. The result? Acid reflux, indigestion, restless sleep, and worse, dangerous spikes in blood pressure. All of these can quietly raise the risk of stroke or heart attack during the night, when we're least aware. And it's not just about discomfort. Chronic acid reflux, or GERD, doesn't just make you cough. It can actually weaken the muscles in your throat over time. That means food or stomach acid can slip into the lungs while you sleep, increasing your risk of aspiration pneumonia, especially if your immune system isn't as strong as it used to be. And if you're diabetic, eating late at night can cause unpredictable blood sugar spikes while you sleep. That's a silent risk most people don't even realize they're taking. Let me put it this way. A greasy cheeseburger at 10 p.m. might taste great in the moment, but if it's keeping you awake at 2 a.m., raising your blood pressure, or silently damaging your throat, it's just not worth it. So what can we do? Eat dinner at least 3 to 4 hours before bedtime. That gives your system enough time to digest and settle down. If you really need a little something before bed, keep it light. A handful of nuts, a small banana, or a warm cup of herbal tea can be soothing without overloading your system. Think of your evening meal as your body's way of preparing for rest. Not a battle it has to fight while you sleep. So let me ask you, what time are you usually having dinner these days? And have you noticed any changes in how well you sleep afterward? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And next, we'll talk about another common bedtime habit that might be doing more harm than good. Let me ask you something. Have you ever found yourself wide awake at 2 a.m., fumbling through the dark just to get to the bathroom? And then, once you're back in bed, it feels impossible to fall asleep again. That used to be me, more nights than I care to admit. The truth is, as we get older, our bodies change in ways we don't always expect. One big change, our bladders become less efficient at holding urine, and our kidneys, they just don't turn off at night like they used to. So while we're hoping for a peaceful night's sleep, our body has other plans, and that often means more trips to the bathroom. Now, waking up once isn't the end of the world. But if you're like many older adults, these bathroom runs can happen multiple times a night. And each time, you're breaking that precious sleep cycle. You're interrupting melatonin production, which is vital for deep rest. Over time, that can lead to poor memory, brain fog, and even increase the risk of dementia. But here's the part that really concerned me: the fall risk. When you wake up suddenly and jump out of bed, your blood pressure can drop quickly. That's called orthostatic hypotension. It might sound like a medical term, but what it really means is you stand up too fast and the room spins. Next thing you know, you've lost your balance. Falls at night are a major hazard, especially for folks living alone. So, what can we do? I'm not saying stop drinking water. We still need to stay hydrated. But timing matters. Try front-loading your fluids earlier in the day. Drink plenty of water in the morning and afternoon, but start tapering off by early evening. After 6 or 7 p.m., think twice before reaching for that second glass. And especially if you've had soup for dinner or a juicy piece of watermelon. Those count too. And if you're a fan of coffee or tea, be mindful. Those are natural diuretics. I remember back in the day, we'd sit and talk about dreams. They may taste comforting, but they can keep you running to the bathroom all night long. This one small shift, managing when and how much you drink, can protect your sleep, your brain, and your balance. Have you ever tracked how often you wake up at night? What made a difference for you? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your story. You know what's funny? As I've gotten older, I find myself chasing warmth like it's my long-lost best friend. A cozy blanket, flannel pajamas, maybe even cranking the heat up a little before bed. It just feels comforting, doesn't it? But here's the part that surprised me and honestly scared me a little. That warm, toasty bedroom I thought was helping me sleep better, it was actually doing the opposite. Take my neighbor, Adam, for example. He's 72, lives alone, and loves his bedroom at a comfortable 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Thick comforter, heavy socks, no windows open. For months, he kept waking up at 2 or 3 in the morning, heart racing, drenched in sweat, and feeling drained the next day. At first, he blamed it on age. Just part of getting old, he said. But it wasn't just age, it was the heat. As we grow older, our bodies aren't as good at regulating temperature. A room that feels mildly warm to us can quietly push our internal systems into overdrive. When the body overheats during sleep, your heart has to work harder to cool things down. Your pulse speeds up. You lose fluids through sweat, especially if you're bundled up. That dehydration thickens your blood slightly, increasing the risk of blood clots. Yes, even in your sleep. For someone with high blood pressure or a history of heart problems, that's a silent but serious risk. Let me ask you, have you ever woken up tired, even after what should have been a full night of sleep? Maybe your heart felt like it was working overtime. If your room is warmer than 70 degrees Fahrenheit, that might be part of the issue. The solution, thankfully, is simple and doesn't cost a dime. Experts recommend keeping your bedroom between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit. I know it might sound chilly at first, but trust me, your body will adjust quickly. Use breathable bedding like cotton, not those heavy synthetic comforters. Wear pajamas that wick moisture instead of trapping heat. Maybe crack the window just a bit, or use a small fan to keep the air circulating. After Adam adjusted his room temperature and switched to a lighter blanket, he said he started sleeping like a rock. Again, no more night sweats, no more early morning wake-ups. Sometimes, the little things we think bring us comfort are actually the ones stealing our rest. So tonight, take a moment to check your thermostat. Your heart and your sleep will thank you. When we think about health after 70, we often focus on the big things: medications, diet, exercise. But sometimes it's the small, almost invisible habits, like how we sleep, that can quietly do the most harm. Let me tell you a quick story. Mr. Robert, 76 years old, seemed healthy enough, but he'd wake up feeling exhausted, with no clue why. His wife began noticing he would sometimes stop breathing during the night, just for a few seconds. It was subtle, until one day, it wasn't. After a checkup, he was diagnosed with sleep apnea, a condition where the airway gets blocked during sleep, especially when lying on the back. His heart had been under stress for years, quietly, steadily. And here's the thing, sleeping on your back, which seems so harmless, can actually be risky for older adults. As we age, the muscles in our throat and chest weaken slightly. That means when we lie flat on our back, our airway can become partially blocked. It's like trying to breathe through a bent straw. Your heart has to work harder and oxygen levels drop. But over time, this increases the risk of high blood pressure, irregular heartbeats, and even heart failure. Now, you might think, okay, so I'll switch to my side. Good idea, but not all sides are equal. Sleeping on your right side may actually put more pressure on the heart. For someone with a weakened cardiovascular system, this could make things worse. It's not dangerous for everyone, but if you already have heart issues, it's something to think about. So what's the safest bet? Sleep on your left side. It's the golden position, especially for older adults. Sleeping on the left improves circulation and reduces acid reflux. Dreams are all very good. Your heart doesn't get compressed, and your breathing tends to stay more stable. To make this easier, try a few simple tricks. Use a body pillow or a regular pillow to hug and keep you from rolling onto your back. Place a small pillow between your knees. It aligns your hips and reduces pressure on your lower back. And elevate your head slightly to help airflow better, especially if you have sinus or breathing issues. It might sound like a small change, but for many older adults, it can mean deeper sleep, better energy during the day, and lower risk of serious health issues. Let me ask you, how do you sleep at night? Back, right, left? If you've never paid much attention before, maybe tonight's the night to try something different. Your heart might thank you. Let me ask you something. What's the last thing you usually do before going to bed? If your answer is scrolling through my phone or watching a little TV, you're not alone. It's a habit that seems harmless, even comforting, especially for older folks living alone or trying to wind down after a quiet day. That glowing screen can feel like a friend. But here's the hard truth. Those screens, your phone, TV, tablet, might be robbing you of the deep, healing sleep your body desperately needs after 60. Let me explain why. The screens we use give off something called blue light. It's the same kind of light you'd get from the morning sun. And that's the problem. Your brain sees that blue light and says, it must be daytime. Time to stay awake, Caddy, Louie. This tricks your body into holding back a very important hormone, melatonin. Melatonin is your body's natural sleep switch. When it's released, you start to feel sleepy. But blue light delays that release, pushing back your sleepiness, sometimes by hours. So instead of drifting into a restful night, you lie there, tired but wide awake. Or wire you fall asleep only to wake up at 2 a.m., wondering why you feel wired. Sound familiar? Over time, this can lead to more than just a rough night. Chronic sleep disruption, especially in older adults, has been linked to memory decline, weakened immunity, even depression, and higher risks of type 2 diabetes and Alzheimer's. I remember talking to my neighbor Linda. She's 73, sharp as a tack, but always tired. She told me, I can't sleep unless I watch my favorite crime shows in bed. But the twist? It wasn't relaxing her. It was keeping her brain on high alert. Once she tried turning off the TV an hour earlier and reading instead, her sleep improved within a week. So what can you do? Here's a simple rule. Turn off all screens at least 1 hour before bedtime. Instead, fill that time with something gentle. Read a physical book or a magazine. Listen to soft music or nature sounds. Sip on a warm cup of herbal tea. Do a little light stretching or 5 minutes of deep breathing, or try a short meditation to calm your mind. And if you absolutely need to use a device, make sure to turn on the night shift or blue light filter mode. Or wear blue light blocking glasses to protect your melatonin levels. Your brain deserves a break. Your body craves real rest. And it starts with shutting off the screen so you can truly power down. Let me know in the comments, what's your nightly wind down routine? And have you noticed a difference when you ditch the screen? It's funny how the little things we do every night, the things we barely think twice about, can slowly shape the way we age. Eating dinner too late, drinking too much water before bed, keeping the bedroom too warm, sleeping in the wrong position, or even just scrolling through your phone or watching TV until your eyes blur. They don't feel dangerous. In fact, they often feel comforting, familiar, part of our routine. But once you hit your 70s, your body doesn't bounce back the way it used to. What seemed harmless in your 40s or 50s can quietly become a threat to your heart, your memory, even your ability to sleep deeply and feel rested. I've seen it myself. Friends who started waking up groggy every morning, blaming age, when really it was their habits. that were aging them faster than time ever could. One of them used to say, "I just like falling asleep with the TV on." But night after night, that harmless habit kept stealing his rest. And over time, it began affecting his focus and mood in ways he didn't even notice. Here's the good news. Awareness is powerful. Once you recognize these silent triggers, you have the chance to take back control. You don't need to change everything overnight, but start with one thing. Just one. Maybe tonight, you turn off the screen an hour earlier. Or you have dinner just a little sooner. Or try propping up your pillow differently to improve your breathing. You might be surprised by how much better you sleep, how much lighter you feel, how much more alive your mornings become. So, here's my question to you. What's one small change you're willing to try tonight? Let me know in the comments. Your story might inspire someone else to make a healthy change too. Because after 70, it's not about doing more, it's about doing smarter. And sometimes, the smallest shift leads to the biggest difference.